All right, so it's kind of late, it's kind of cold, but I just came up with this idea for like to make a cool shroud. I know this has been done already, but I'm gonna take this tape and just put it kind of in the shape of what I want this thing to look like, and then tomorrow we're gonna get fiberglass and some resin and make a fiberglass cooling panel for this. Yeah, so let's see what we can do. All right, so here's where I'm at. I got my area all taped off and stuff in the shape that I want this cooling panel to be, and I got everything else masked off that I don't want to get resin on. So I just came back from Home Depot with some of this fiberglass cloth and fiberglass mat. So I'm gonna use this in small pieces to get the shape, and I'm gonna reinforce it with this mat that's on top. Also got some of this resin, mixing cup, and some other random things. So we'll do this in fiberglass first, prove the concept, make a mold of it, and then do carbon fiber versions. So I'm not sure where I left off filming last night, but here's what we got. You know, I did a couple layers of this epoxy, well, fiberglass resin. But yeah, did a couple coats of that. I used not this fiberglass cloth, but the chopped stuff. And I did 2 layers of that. It's pretty solid on top of the tape. So now what I'm gonna do is, I already popped it out this morning. I've been in the car all day, but we're gonna take an angle grinder. We're gonna start trimming this up along this front edge, cut these sides. It's probably gonna end up being on the inside of this fender, but for now we're just gonna cut this off and see if we can rock it like that. Start getting a line, probably use tape or maybe some markers and stuff. We have to cut the holes for the hood pins to go through and this lock. Yeah, obviously cut this straight, and yeah, this is what it looks like. Also gotta somehow try to peel off all this tape from the back. So this is roughly where I'm going to cut it first to start off with, and then we'll continue sanding and trimming to make it fit. But I'm going to use my grinder here with the regular metal cutoff wheel. So let's get it. Alright, made a mess, but trimmed it up. Now let's see how it fits. One hand. It's getting there. Just got it trimmed up some more, and I just marked the holes I gotta drill on the bottom. I do a hole here, and a slot here so that these pins can come through, and then this can latch into there. Alright, so here's where I'm at with this. I drilled some holes. I added some rivnuts in factory location, so this is like screwed down really nice. I just did 2 for now, 1 in each corner. So right now, my main issue is these edges stick up way too high. So you see it's like up past the fender. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to cut this. So that's kind of, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that, so that's why I didn't do it yet. This side, I like the way this looks. And this side's kind of, it's closer, but it still sticks up high. So I might just cut it behind where this glass goes into the plastic part of the housing. So run a line, boop, straight across. We'll see. We're getting there. And then got some carbon fiber we could lay on top of it afterwards, but not anytime soon. This is gonna need to get sanded and some Bondo and whatnot until it's perfect. So right now we're running into an issue where the hood is touching on these sides where it goes over the headlight mounting tabs. So I'm thinking of doing something like this, cut it out around here, and then we're just gonna fade it out. So I'm either gonna cut this or I'm gonna trace it on a piece of paper so I have a template. So I can do the same thing on both sides and keep this like somewhat symmetrical. It's looking good so far. So here's where we're at with this. I just sanded it a little bit more, finalized my shape, and fits really well. So I think what I'm going to do now is throw some primer at it, and then we can start smoothing it out a bit more. I also think I want to round in this more. Alright, so I threw some primer at it. Once this dries, I'm going to put a little bit of Bondo, smoothing it up. Alright, so I just finished Bondo, some more sanding, so we're gonna throw some primer at it, and a little more sanding, a little more Bondo, a little more sanding. We should be good. Alright, so here's how we're looking after a, what is it, like 2 or 3 rounds of Bondo and a couple hours of sanding. Still a couple pinholes and a few low spots like right about here. So I'm out of Bondo for tonight, so I'm gonna grab another small can and finish this up and do some glazing putty into these little holes. But yeah, that's what we got. Now we are in the garage, the JP Fab headquarters, and we're gonna work on starting the mold for this. So first I just gotta work on these cracks where I put the filler primer really heavy. Just hit that with a little bit of Bondo, sand that smooth. Just wipe this down with some acetone, well, paint thinner, not all oily, so I'm gonna dry that off. Work on a few little spots that I'm not happy with. We'll hit this with some paint, and while that dries, Alex is gonna pull it up and we're gonna start working on a LTW lip mold, so you'll see that just now. What I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna delete these holes so that we can make the mold, and then I'm worried about drilling these afterwards. I'm also gonna fill in these couple cracks. Maybe I'll hit it with paint just so it's nice and smooth, and then another day we'll prep it to become a mold. Or if I don't paint it, we could do that today, so we'll see. This is all smoothened out. Now I'm gonna hit it with some white paint, and tomorrow we can start making a mold out of this. So now I got all my flange material done, and now I'm gonna take some of the clay and fill in all of these edges, get that nice, and then we can start waxing and PVAing and then proceeding with the mold making process. That took way too long. Finally got all my clay on the edges, so now we have all our relief angle. So now I can start applying my wax and then PVA, and we can finally do gel coat. It's already, what is it, like 1 o'clock? 1:08. Let's see how long this takes. Last night I left here at like 8:30, almost 9. We started at 12, so start a little bit earlier. Hopefully we can leave earlier. All of our layers of wax have been applied. First layer of PVA is down. As you can tell, it's looking all purple and stuff. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. We'll give it 1 or 2 more coats of this. And we can finally start mixing up some gel coat and throwing down on this. In the meanwhile, I think I'm gonna start demolding that lip. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do these 2 in different videos. So you'll see that one first, obviously, and then you'll see this. But, yep. It is time to apply the gel coat. PVA has been dried, everything has been applied. It's looking good. So now it's the moment of truth. So we're gonna do 3 coats of gel coat like we did on that lip, followed by 3 to 4 layers of fiberglass. And it should be very strong, just like this. This is probably one of the best molds I've made, and it's still pretty thin on the gel coat, but It's more than I usually do, so I'm happy. So we have 2 lip molds in stock now. We've got a pair of door panels. We've got the Vader seat backs with the optional cargo net. We've got door panel inserts for those door panels. We've also got some fog light molds somewhere up there. But yeah, adding more to the collection. One day we'll make a dash mold. It's E36 dash. One day, not today. All right, we got our first layer gel coat down. Just gonna hit this with the heat gun a little bit, pop the bubbles, put it on thick. Once we get this like somewhat tacky, we'll give it a second coat, get that tacky, give it a final coat, and then we can start building up some fiberglass on here. But I'm happy we got a couple molds, and we can just start filling these and making shit. Might invest in some like chemical mold release so we don't have to waste time waiting for PVA to dry every time and applying it over and over again. It'll be a one time we can get multiple parts out of it. But yeah. All right, that's the final round of gel coat. That's 3 coats. I found some red one that I had left over, so I figured I'd use that up. That's nice and thick, so we'll give this a couple minutes, maybe like 20, 25 minutes to dry a little bit, and then we can start applying fiberglass. I heat gun it a little bit. The heat gun's actually been helping this dry a lot quicker. What time is it now? It's 4:30. Been here for a while. Hopefully we can leave here in a couple hours. All right, got all my fiberglass cut, ready to be laid. This needs like a couple more minutes to be tackier than it is, and we'll be ready to go. Right, it's time. This is finally dry enough so I can mix up some polyester resin that we got down here. Boom. Mix some of this up, throw all of this fiberglass down on there, and we can get out of here and go to the next job. Damn, I got a gel coat on my hands, on my fingies. Not my fingies. It is, what time is it? 5:30, and we are done. All the layers of fiberglass have been applied, gel coat and everything, so now this just get to cure until tomorrow. Tomorrow we come, we get to prep that mold, prep this mold, and maybe we can start making our first parts. We'll probably make one of these first since I don't have enough material to make a lip yet, and we'll order up all of that, but yeah. Try hitting with some air, see if that helps. Beautiful. Very nice. We got a successful mold here, ready to go. Just needs a little bit of sanding, just like a few things here and there, a few high spots. A little sanding, a little wash, and a polish. Hell yeah, might just make one straight, you know, just like this and see how it comes out. We definitely have like a couple spots that need a little sanding, nothing crazy. We've got plenty of gel coat where I'm not worried. This is solid. So here's where we're gonna leave off for this video. Mold has been completed, so I'm gonna let this cure for a day or two. It's not necessary, but it can't hurt now that it's open and out in the air. We've got the lip mold up here. We'll also let this cure. It has the texture from the lip. We're probably gonna make 1 or 2 like that with the texture and then sand it off and polish it for the rest, but we'll see how it comes out if it's needed. But yeah, I cleaned up the shop a little bit. You know, a clean shop's a happy shop. I'd like to get a bigger table here. Since the roll of carbon is 50 inches wide, I'd like to have a table that's at least that wide so that the roll isn't drooping off when we roll it out to cut it, because that gets a little annoying, especially with the lips since we need like the full length to cut strips. So that's like something that we can work on, and I've also started doing some calculations for like all the molds I have. So these are the dimensions of it, so I can figure out exactly how much plastic we need, how much carbon and peel ply, breather cloth, etc. But yeah, that's where we're gonna end it. JP out.